Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. I should say to those of you who are joining us on the East Coast, where I am. I'll say good morning to those of you who might be in the Central Time Zones or the Pacific Time Zones. I might also say good evening to some of our attendees or registrants who are joining us from across the pond in the UK and then possibly even Australia. We have a few attendees there. So welcome everyone to today's presentation of the radioactive trading methodology and power options. I'm glad to see you all here. Unfortunately, Kurt could not join us, but that just means that we're going to be able to still review, I should say, some of the methods and introduction, I should say, to radioactive trading principles. But we're going to spend more time today on the power options tools, and I'm actually going to share with you some recent trades that I have made radioactively based on customer questions that came in during Saturday's presentation, the 2-hour paid seminar that Kurt and I hosted on income methods number 1 and 2. Now, before we get started, I just want to ask a couple of quick polls. I'm going to fire them off one after the other. I just want to get to know the audience a little better. It will help me gauge the pace and the information that we want to cover today. So let me just go ahead there and take a look. I'm going to launch this first poll, and what I would like to know is what is your involvement with radioactive trading and power options right now? I'm sorry, are you just viewing the free materials? Have you read the sketch, maybe checked out some of the YouTube videos? Have you gone through the free materials and you're considering buying the blueprint, Kurt's full work? Do you own the blueprint and you're here because you want to know more about fission or more about power options? Did you join us on Saturday, the Mastery Series CDs? Did you join us on Saturday or looking to purchase some of the other CDs that Kurt used to enhance the details of the blueprint? Or are you currently involved with a coaching session or a coaching program? Okay. This does give me a very good gauge of what we're going to have to go through today, but we're going to make sure we cover all the bases. I'm going to change Kurt's normal presentation, but we're still going to see, of course, some of the basics and some of the background that we need for radioactive trading. Okay, I've had the poll open for a minute. I appreciate everyone answering the polls quickly. Let me go ahead and close the poll. I know some of you are still voting, but I'm going to close the poll and share the results. So 52% of our attendees have been going through the free materials, the sketch, the YouTube videos, these live webinars. That's excellent. 30% are thinking about buying the blueprint. 37% of you already own the blueprints, and we have 4% who, of course, are looking at the Mastery Series CDs. Well, that's great. Let me go ahead and hide those results. And I just want to ask another quick question of our attendees, of everybody. What I'd like to know is just what strategies are you trading right now? What kind of option strategies are you trading right now? Are you currently uninterested in options? You've maybe had some bad experience. Are you trading covered calls? Are you mainly looking at long calls and long puts, purchasing for speculation on market increase or decrease? Are you doing spread trades? Or are you looking at naked calls and naked puts? Wow, you guys are voting very quickly. I greatly appreciate that. So help us go through this here. I just want to get to know everyone, and I like what I'm seeing here. This matches what I was hoping to show in the presentation with some of the income methods that I've done recently on a couple of my positions, and of course the traditional income method, which leads to what I'm looking for in a new position I've opened opened last week that I am going to share with everyone. My apologies, I've lost track of time. It was actually 2 weeks ago. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've had the poll open for 1 minute, so let me go ahead and close that now, and I'll share the results. 3% of our attendees don't like options, and it's a hard thing to do. When I first started trading options, I had some mixed experiences, and we'll talk a little bit about Kurt's mixed experience in the next 5 or 6 minutes. I feel strongly that when I started trading, I was doing covered calls, I was doing naked puts. I even entered some calendar spreads, and I had some successes. I was able to see that there was a lot of profit to be made using options as leverage and using options as speculation, but I did have some losses which countered most of my gains, and that was disheartening. So those of you who answered options me no likey, either you're just getting started in options or you've had some of the experiences that I had in the beginning. And I think you're in the right place because this method teaches you how to protect against the losses you might suffer with covered calls or even with naked puts, even with the spread trades. We'll discuss that when we get into the trade simulator tool. We have a tie here for number one. 61% of you are trading covered calls and using long calls and long puts. That's excellent. 55% are trading spread trades. That's great. And we have 18% trading naked calls and naked puts. I've done naked puts in the past. Haven't done any recently, but I've been considering it. I avoid naked calls just because of the unlimited risk factor. That's just a personal preference. If I'm bearish on something, I might look at a bear call spread or sort of a bearish form of a collar. But that's just a little personal background. Let me hide those results. Let's get right back into it. And I thank you for everyone for voting very quickly. All right, so we're back on our main screen here. And let me just give you a little bit of background for those of you that are new to Kurt Frankenberg. Radioactive trading was founded by Kurt back in 2000, and he wrote the blueprint, which is his full outline or the full description of his trading methodology in 2002. Kurt is a martial arts instructor and a martial arts student. He's always learning, just as we all are when we're trading. He founded Radioactive Trading, and he's taught and lectured at MIT and other places around the country. The reason Kurt founded Radioactive Trading is just like many of you might have experienced. He paid several $1,000s or a few $1,000s to attend a weekend seminar to learn how to trade covered calls and some other strategies. Well, he started trading the techniques that he was taught over the 2-day seminar. And his first month, he had a decent return of around 5 or 6%. And in his second month, he had a decent return as well. Well, his covered call guru told him he could do much better if he just traded this covered call strategy on margin. And of course, so Kurt went ahead and said that sounds like a great idea. And shortly into that third month, he got a margin call from his broker. The stock that he was trading plummeted, and he essentially wiped out all of his savings that he had set aside to trade. But he didn't give up at that point, and he didn't just go pay another $3,000 once he got back on his feet to attend a different seminar. He started studying the different positions, and he knew that when the stock he was trading plummeted and he was on margin, that was a bad idea. He learned the hard way. The lesson he learned in the market, of course, was better than anything he learned over the 2-day presentation that cost him $2,500 to about $3,000. But he knew the money had to go somewhere, so he started looking at different approaches of trading options and trading stocks that he was bullish on, and what he came up with was a unique form of a married put position where he could have single-digit risks, unlimited upside profit potential, and then as he kept trading this, he developed income methods. Income methods are adjustments that are made onto that existing married put, what he calls an RPM, to lower the initial at risk and potentially bulletproof the position. So that's the starting point of how Kurt got involved. And why it was created, well, I'm sorry, we just kind of reviewed this. He made up his mind never again to lose those values, and he set up this type of basic setup where we have limited risks and unlimited upside profit potential. Now today I'm going to be your presenter. My name is Michael Chupka. As many of you read in the email, I'm the Director of Education here at PowerOptions. PowerOptions is a patented suite of tools for self-directed options investors. I've had the great pleasure of working with Ernie and Greg Serena for the past 7 years. I handle a lot of the coaching session and education materials, webinars for PowerOptions. I've co-authored 2 books on trading. The Protective Options Strategies book with Ernie Serena, and also a book on trading naked puts and using the PowerOptions tools. Now this, I was rushing through to create some new slides for this presentation, and so I didn't edit this. It says I've been trading radioactively for over a year. I've actually been trading radioactively for over 2.5 years. So I have various experiences, very promising experience, very good experiences. This method protected me on one stock from losing about 65 to 70%. I actually made a profit on that stock. Even though it dropped about 70% and it came back up slightly over a 4 or 5 month period, I was able to turn a profit by following these techniques. Rich just sent in a question. Is this a recording? Yes, Rich, I am recording this presentation. This also gives me a time to mention that, again, I am doing this solo today without Kurt. So if you have questions, please feel free to send them. If you're not hearing the sound correctly or you're not seeing the screen very well, or if I'm moving too fast, just please let me know. Use that question pod to send me a question. But I'm going to ask that you hold your questions to the end because I'm going to try to leave 5-10 minutes at the end to handle all questions. This will allow me to move more quickly, or have a better flow, I should say, through the presentation. All right. But yes, Rich, I am recording this. Hopefully we'll have it in the archives later today or on Wednesday in the free webinar section on radioactive trading and power options. Oop. All right. So the mission of radioactive trading and power options, it's important that we give away the very best parts of the system. We're going to give you actual trading ideas that you